everyone, so welcome to today's video. We are doing a new drugstore testing video. We've got some new launches, some new lip products, a new cheek product, a new product that is affordable at the drugstore that is new to me, not a new hot off the press launch, that I actually found out through one of my lovely subscribers. So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna try some products out. It's gonna be mostly all drugstore, so get your makeup goodies out, get a drink, get a snack, get cozy, and let's begin. Now that the NYX Brow Glue Crazy Lift has had ample time to dry, I'm going to go in with my NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Pen, which is what I've been using for years, in the shade Ash Brown to fill in my brows. And I have to say, this definitely feels like the brows are like shellacked against the skin. Like it feels, they're just like glued on. So I feel like they've taken their regular brow glue and just amplified the tackiness and that sort of glue-like finish, because this does not feel like it's gonna move and budge. So let's hope that I can use my brow pen to fill in my brows. One brow done and one to go. This is the after with the Crazy Lift Brow Glue and the NYX Lift and Snatch pen. And then here is just the glue. What a difference, right? This is why I never skip my brow routine, because this is just a no, okay? This is just not it. This is much better. It's filled in. I also like how this brow pen was able to transfer the ink onto the product and fill in my brows, because sometimes some formulas don't allow anything else to be put on top, because these are generally designed to be used as the final step of your brow routine. That's what you use the brow glues. Any sort of product like that, you typically put it on afterwards, but for a laminating technique, you want to put it on first, let it dry, and then fill in the areas that you need to fill in with a brow pencil, a pen, powders, pomades, waxes, whatever it is that you choose. So I'm happy to report that this pen was fine to apply over this. One thing I did note that I'm going to point out is that I noticed that the tail end of my brow, the hairs themselves are starting to lift off, versus this innermost part of my brow that is very glued down. I think it's just because this hair is thinner and this is the tail end and it's much thinner in just the shape of it, versus this area here that has more hair and it's a little bit thicker. So maybe it's just the texture difference in the hair that makes a difference as to how this is going to hold and if it's gonna stay flat against the skin. Now, is that something that's gonna bother me? I'm not quite sure. If it kind of just stays as is, or if I can push it down or maybe reapply, I think it'll be fine, but it's something to notice that the tail end was starting to lift off. All right, I'm back with the brows completely filled in. Did the same routine on this side with the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Pen. It transferred just fine and I had no issues. Now, I did mention that this tail end on this side of my brows, the right one, is starting to lift off. And if I look at that one compared to this one, I feel like my left one is still just a little bit further up against the skin versus the right side. So maybe it's not the product itself, maybe it's just the amount that I put on. I do have a very kind of thin tail end to the brows, very sparse areas there. So there's not a lot of hair to hold on to this product. So it could just be my brows. I don't think it's a fault of the product, and I don't think I'm going to hold that against this product either. I will use that again. It feels like I can be through a windstorm and my brows are going to be in place. And I guess that's the whole point of this product, isn't it? Foundation and bronzer are complete as well, and I also did my concealer. I did have the foundation on prior to doing the brows, and I'm using the CoverGirl Blurring Skin Tint with SPF 30. This is a fairly new product. It is a skin tint, but it does have some coverage, quite a bit, honestly, like a foundation, and it is quite matte over some of the skin prep products that I have on underneath. The bronzer is the Bronze Stick from ColourPop in the shade Laguna Beach, and I blended that in with my Makeup by Mario F4 brush. I used the larger end. The concealer has been the House Labs in the shade 04 Fair Neutral. I've been loving this since I repurchased this right shade for me. I do have it in a deeper tone that's a little bit more golden, and so now I have it in the correct shade, and I love that. So now we get to use a new setting powder. This is not a new drop at the drugstore. It is new to me, and actually I found out about this through a subscriber of mine. She asked me to try this, or how does this powder compare to another one that is very popular, that is also a drugstore product. So I ordered the product so that I can try it and actually give you my thoughts, because I can't compare products if I haven't tried it. So it's the About Face Loose Powder. This is the Curtain Call Set and Smooth Loose Powder. So I ordered the lightest shade that looks to be translucent. They do have a pink tone, and they do have a couple deeper tinted options for medium skin, tan, and deep skin tones. I'm going to apply this About Face loose powder with a powder puff as I always do. Now the subscriber that had mentioned this powder to me asked how does that compare to the L'Oreal powder. I did a video talking about drugstore powders, kind of like a speed review video. I'll link it if you haven't seen it, where I go over all of the new loose powders at the drugstore because they have been quite a few new launches. So I wanted to condense it and do like a speed review, so it's a very helpful video if you're shopping for a loose powder. So now that I have this powder from About Face, now I can tell you and compare both of these together. I'm going to use my Sonia Kashuk powder puff. I'm just going to dip directly into the product. It does have like a little mesh liner, kind of like a little trampoline where you can bounce your puff sponge, your beauty sponge, or brush into it. But I like these puff sponges. I'm just going to kind of press and try to pick up a little bit of this powder like that on the very tip of my puff sponge. And I'm going to press this right into the Haus Labs concealer and just apply it, like I said, like I do with every other loose powder, not doing anything different and special with it. And this powder is affordable. It's a little bit, kind of a little on the higher end compared to some other drugstore brands, but generally speaking, the price point of About Face isn't very expensive, which is nice. And you can easily get it at Ulta. I ordered mine online, but you can get it in store as well. Let's do a little bit through here. Even though I do have my bronzer on, I don't want to go up towards the hairline, but just maybe right through here, the nose, the upper lip area. And this is the side with the About Face loose powder, and then here we have not done any loose powder or any powder at all. And I have to say, this is quite blurring and smoothing. I do like how this looks. And it almost looks like I didn't even put anything on, to be honest with you. I can tell that it's set, but it doesn't look heavy. It doesn't look powdery, which is great. It feels like a very finely milled powder. Now this shade is translucent, so there isn't gonna be a whole ton of brightening that's gonna happen with this. Maybe the light pink shade might have been a better option for brightening, and maybe in the future I might try that pink tone one. But as far as the translucent powder, I think it did a nice job, and it feels really soft, very silky, and I like it. I do like it. Now, will I say that this powder from About Face is going to replace this one? I don't think so. This one has me in a chokehold and I love it. It's literally smooth, silky, soft. It's a filter in a powder. Every time I go to Target and I walk through the makeup aisles, this product is sold out. The display is completely empty. So people are loving this. But if you can't get your hands on this, then this is a nice alternative. We'll give it some more time. Who knows? This may become my go-to setting powder. Loose powder. I may have this in the favorites in the future, who knows, but I'm glad I tried it, and I hope that that comparison was helpful. Moving on to blush, this is where I'm going to use a brand new product. Revolution has launched a new liquid blush. I pulled it up on the Ulta app. These are the Revolution Beauty Super Dewy Liquid Blush Burst. I ordered one shade just because it says Super Dewy in the name, and I typically don't like very dewy, emollient, or wet looking blushes, and I wasn't sure how I was gonna like this formula. I'm playing it safe. I ordered one shade, and I believe it's called Strawberry Milkshake. Yes, Strawberry Milkshake. I took the little seal off of it. There's 8 shade options. They're $9 a piece. In the descriptions, if you go down on the Ulta site or on the app, if you scroll down, it says, grab, dab, and go with Revolution Beauty Super Dewy Blush Burst. That is a mouthful. A bite-sized burst of juicy color. The hybrid skin-loving serum formula is bursting with peptides and hyaluronic acid for a hydrated, plump cheek effect. It sounds good, right? And let's go ahead and apply this. I like the size. It's so teensy tiny, and they're right. It is like a pocket size, and it's $9, so it's also affordable, less than $10 for a small little blush. So if you like really dewy and emollient blushes, you may actually like this. And I'm curious to see how this is going to smell. The applicator is a small little doe foot. It's kind of skinny. Of course, it's more on the miniature size because this is quite tiny. And it does smell kind of fruity. That is the shade Strawberry Milk. And this one actually looks to have a little bit of a kind of corally tint to it, not quite as pink. Some of the other more bright pink shades, they do have a cool pink shade that is called Bubblegum Burst. That is currently sold out. But this one is a really nice kind of, I would say like a corally pink, and I think it's gonna be a really nice shade for summer. Now let's go in with one of my favorite newer brushes. This is the e.l.f. Stain and Tint Blending Brush. It's angled, and this was a new launch from e.l.f. And I'm just gonna load up my brush, as I always do, and let's go ahead and start applying. We'll start on this right side. Oh, she's cute. I like that color. That is really cute. It's kind of on the softer side. Again, I'm building it up slowly adding a little bit and building this up to my desired intensity for the day. And I have to say that that kind of blended really nicely over my foundation, over the bronzer. And it isn't quite greasy looking as I thought. There is a little bit of glow. Do you see that when I turn my face? But it's still pretty. It's like a healthy glow. What do you think? Do you like this? Does it feel? I do feel like there's something kind of more hydrating on the skin, but again, it doesn't feel greasy. Doesn't feel sticky, tacky, goopy. Doesn't feel sticky either. That's interesting. Okay, now let's go and do the same thing on the other side. I definitely have to work to get some more of this product. I have to do like 3 swipes and spread that out so I can evenly coat my brush, and then do the same thing. Ooh, I definitely feel like I added more on this on this side. It's okay. It's gonna be fine. Let's go over the nose a little bit. Then I'm going to take my beauty sponge that I use for my concealer and just kind of dab this out and blend a little bit more. I am back with more makeup complete. I did my eyes off camera, and let's just talk about this eyeshadow, okay? I used the Half Magic eyeshadow single that looks like this. This is the shade called Electric Butterfly. It looks blue, but then it kind of shifts to a bit of a purpley shade. That is what I have on my lids. It's absolutely insane how incredible this color is. I don't wear colors like this very often. Every now and again, sure. I don't know. This is just... Do you see this? Okay, this is intense. It kind of looks blue, then you turn and it looks a little purple. I did use a little bit of bronzer in the crease, and then I decided to take some of the eyeshadows from these smaller Morphe palettes. The Rich Glitch specifically, I used the light kind of pinky beigey color that's in there for the crease a little bit in the outer V, and then I took that darker brown and used it to smoke out the lower lashes, and that's pretty much it for eyeshadow. I did my NYX liquid liner in Milk Chocolate, just very thin across the top lashes. And then the mascara is a new one from Revolution. It's their Wrap Lash Mascara. This is a tubing formula. I've already reviewed this. This product launched before the new blush that we reviewed just a few minutes ago. So that's why I kind of had to break these up into different videos. I did 2 coats of this mascara on the top and 1 coat at the bottom. And that's pretty much my entire eye look. And I do think that this is a really nice tubing option to find at the drugstore. And like I said, it's a new launch. The packaging is absolutely adorable. The different shades in this formula come in different color packaging, which is also kind of cool too. And that's pretty much all I've done so far. So now we have to try out some new lip products. CoverGirl has recently launched some new lip products, and I ordered 2 of their jelly water tints, and I'm excited about this. Look how cute this packaging is. It's adorable. It's small. Again, I feel like the theme of the day is small, miniature, kind of pocket-sized products. So let me just show you the comparison of the jelly water tint versus the pocket blush. They're almost the exact same size. Really small, but that's okay. So I ordered 2 shades of the jelly water tint. I ordered 40 Nude Jelly, which looks like that, kind of like a nude, kind of peachy tan, and then shade number 30 Watermelon Splash. And I went with something that seemed a little bit brighter on the Ulta website, just because these sort of lighter, more sheer products, they don't have a lot of color. So I tend to go for something really bright so that I can actually see something on the lips and not just look like it's clear. And then they also launched new Clean Fresh tinted lip balms with SPF 15. I ordered just 1. There's 2 options, I believe, in this range. And I ordered the cool pink shade in You Make Me Blush. And it's just stated on the bottom with a color coordinating matching sticker there. Excuse my nails. They look absolutely disgusting. Let's pull up the claims of these products. And these are actually called the Clean Fresh Jelly Water Lip and Cheek Tints. All it says on the packaging is jelly water tints. It doesn't say, actually it does. If you read, it's on the back, it says lip and cheek. Okay, well, there's that. It comes in 6 different shades. They're $10.99 a piece, which is just a little up there for CoverGirl. I think that's just me. These, in the description, states that it's a water lip and cheek tint with a cushiony and hydrating formula for long-lasting soft focus color. When you go to descriptions or details and you pull down the features, it's a refreshing water gel technology, natural looking flush of color, black, cherry, and raspberry scent, mess-free application, cushiony, plush, doe foot applicator. Benefits, it says, transfer proof, kiss proof, smudge proof. Had I read this before I started filming, I would have tried these on the cheeks. So we'll have to do that in a separate video sometime in the future. I typically don't like these types of products that are designed for lip and cheeks because sometimes they work fine on the cheeks, not so great on the lips, or they're good on the lips, but not for a cheek product. So we're just gonna try these on as lip products today. This is the shade Nude Jelly number 40. And this is Watermelon Splash number 30. Now let's swatch Nude Jelly 40 on our lips. Nude Jelly number 40. Next is number 30, Watermelon Splash. Here's Watermelon Splash. And let me show you the Tinted Lip Balm with SPF 15 in the shade You Make Me Blush. The Tinted SPF 15 in You Make Me Blush. So let's talk about these water tints. I actually like how these feel. It does feel very cooling, very hydrating. It's almost like a burst of coolness and water on the lips. It's a very interesting feeling, very cold feeling, so it does feel quite pleasant. And honestly, the pigmentation on these is a lot more than I expected. I only ordered 2 shades because I wasn't sure if it was gonna look just like a sheer tint, if it was actually gonna show up, and they do. Now this watermelon shade, the Watermelon Splash, actually stained my lips, and that is why this tinted lip balm in the shade You Make Me Blush looks different than it does in the tube because I had that stain effect on my lips after removing the products. But the tinted lip balm itself looks like this on the back of my hand. So it's a very sheer kind of wash of a cool pink shade. I do like this formula. I've tried some of these before, not this shade, but I like how it's tinted with the SPF coverage. So you do get some sort of sun protection with that product, but it does look a little different on the lips, and it's a very cool tone, kind of coming off as a bit of a Barbie pink just because I have that stained effect from this product underneath. So I am pleasantly surprised with these. I do like these. I will use these again as a lip product. I would pair this though with a lip liner to give me a little bit more shape and dimension and structure to the shape of my lips, and then go in with this or use this as a topper to a lipstick or some other type of lip product and create a combination of colors for the day. So this is a lip combination that I did using one of those jelly water tints from CoverGirl. So I started off with the Catrice Plumping Liner in the shade Don't Miss a Kiss. It's a light kind of nude shade just to kind of shape the lips a little bit better. I did overline just slightly, and then I went in with the jelly water tint in the shade Watermelon Splash. So it's the more pink of the 2 shades that I ordered, and this is the combination there. I do like how this feels on the lips. It goes on very cooling and very watery, so like a drink of water, as I mentioned earlier, but it also feels quite thin, and I wanted to see how this texture felt over a lip liner. I use lip liners every day. I don't do a lip look without it. I just feel like it's missing something. So it's good to know that this on top of a lip liner still feels quite thin, almost like there's nothing there. Once this dries down completely, it feels like I didn't even put anything on. So it's very lightweight, so that's something to note, that this is a very thin, very watery, lightweight formula. And that, my friends, is the completed look for today. What do you think? I feel like the only thing I can focus on is this eyeshadow, right? Is this not the prettiest blue iridescent eyeshadow you've ever seen? And it's so inexpensive. I think it's like 13 bucks for that shadow. I'm gonna link it for you down below. But as far as everything, taking a step back and looking at the products, I do like how everything turned out. I will note that this skin tint is looking quite dry across my chin. And I think it's just because this is a very matte formula. I also did pair this today with some new skin prep products underneath, just testing them out for a different video. And you know, maybe that has something to do with it, or maybe this is just a little too matte and drying for my skin. I do like the coverage and how easily this blended. I think I like this over my Milani Blur Out Primer. The nude cheek products are great. That setting powder was really lovely. It was very thin, very finely milled, and it doesn't feel or look powdery whatsoever on the skin. I like these lip products that we tested out today, so I would have to say this was a successful first time try for some new drugstore launches. Let me know your thoughts for these products down below. Have you tried these yet? Are you eyeing them? What are your favorite go-tos? What are some of those new drugstore products that I have recently launched that you are excited to try or you've tried? Share your thoughts, your comments, your feedback. I'm all ears. Thank you for being here, for watching today's video, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Bye-bye.